There is nothing in this world that will break a man's heart faster than just simply having hope. It's such a conflicting feeling too, because on one hand, hope is what makes life so beautiful and worth living. And the idea and thought that we can truly as humans do anything and have any outcome go our way and anything is obtainable in this life, it's so beautiful. But on the total flip side, hope is also something that will leave a man dead in his tracks. It will give you to the highest of highs, and it will also bring you to the lowest of lows within your life. And there is nothing worse than, let's say not caring about something, and then you gain a little bit of hope for maybe a specific outcome, and then that outcome is just torn away from your heart, and you're just left alone and sad. And this might be a lame ass example, but just listen here. So sports is one of the biggest contributors, I feel like, to this feeling of having hopium, as I like to call it. And if you're not into sports, don't worry, I got something else for you in a little bit. But bro, just let me cook here. Sports are kind of like the poster child of having what I commonly call hopium. And if you're just like, Colby, bro, like having hope is a great thing, I completely agree. Hope is what makes life worth living, but it's the outcome that makes it such a painful experience. And growing up in Minnesota as a Minnesota sports fan, hopium is like put into all of our blood. Like our team starts off the season pretty mediocre, pretty bad, so expectations are low. But then they make like this mid-season push and they do just enough to have you invested again, and then they make the playoffs on a hot streak. And all signs point to nothing can stand in your team's way, and your emotions match this. You feel on top of the world. You feel excited for the playoffs because that's what, we were once the bottom of the barrel, a shitty team, and now we have expectations and we have to meet those, and this hope has taken over our lives. And before we know it, it's like when that hope strikes, your team loses by like a game winner. Damn, like all of that hope for nothing. It just breaks my heart. It feels like your heart has been ripped from your chest, man. Like that scene in Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. That dude takes his heart from his chest. Scary shit. And it has all of this, and like in your mind, you're asking yourself, damn, man, like what could have been? And all of this scenario and emotions are rooted in hope. But that's just really, in my opinion, a long way in saying like, hope is one hell of a drug. And in today's video, I really want to dig deep into this feeling of hope and how it's such a polarizing feeling and how we can really maximize this feeling to not only just, make us go to greater lengths at reaching our goals and dreams, but not being hurt by when our expectations are crushed. And the last thing I want to do though is I don't want this video to be this negative yap session where I just like sound like a chud saying having hope sucks, because truly deep down, I believe hope is a beautiful emotion. And it really is the basis of, I think, the human race. Like you think caveman, they had hopes of making fire. They wanted warmth and light. They did some shit and boom, fire. Like they hoped. Not to sound like a modern day Socrates, but I think without hope, there is no humanity. And I think back to a lot of moments in my life where I felt the most joyous, or where it was pure bliss and all of my other worries and hardships went away during that time. It was, man, this is nerdy as fuck to say, but like playing video games late into the night with the boys, like middle and high school or COVID, those were some unreal times. And how this connects to this whole hope concept is that in these moments, I had hope of like this night never ending. I had hope to relive these nights someday, and maybe, just maybe, hope that maybe one day I can feel this awesome feeling again. And it's honestly an addicting feeling to having hope. Like you'll think you are capable of stuff that you would never in a million years thought you were capable to do, but you just keep going towards it and keep grinding towards it because of the hope. And it gives you and I a purpose on this earth. And hopefully one day we can have a positive impact and leave the world a better place than when we were brought in it. That, as cliche as it sounds, I think it's true. And I truly do believe that hope is the ultimate motivator, and it leads us to endure shit that would kill much stronger or weaker men than us. And the whole reason this idea for this video came to me is like when I post my videos on YouTube, I really get this like high from when they perform well, and it gives me that hope that maybe my channel is actually gaining some following and gaining traction towards my goal of 1,000 subs and being able to be monetized. And when I saw the views go up or the metrics go higher than what I'm used to, I have like these butterflies flying around in my stomach like I'm some excited little kid. And nothing makes me happier than seeing that, because it's confirmation that what I'm doing was working and people were actually listening and relating to what I was saying, which I really appreciate more than all of those numbers. But with this sense of hope and confirmation, when shit goes south, like, and I make a video and it's straight up stunk and it goes ass, like either the idea was ass, the packaging was terrible, or maybe the algorithm was just not on my side that day. I don't know. But when these videos underperform, it truly breaks my heart, because the hope I once held, it's now pouring out of my heart, man, and it needs healing. And I had this thought that hope is the whole reason that one of the most toxic industries today, why they exist. Let me cook. So nowadays, every other minute, you're being targeted, like you're seeing targeted ads for this specific industry. Even your favorite celebrities and idols are promoting it. But it is honestly terrible for our mental health and our pocketbooks. Hope is the basis, and it is what runs the gambling industry. And bro, don't even get me started on prediction markets where you're able to bet on like the weather or whether someone's going to say a certain word in a speech. Gambling is accessible now as it ever has been. And the whole point of gambling is to take your money and you exchange it for hope. So if you think about it, the only reason you gamble is the hope that you can quickly turn your small amount of money into a larger amount of money. And there's a reason that people bet on shit that like is statistically near impossible, or where it's more likely to be struck by lightning than one of these teams winning a championship. It really runs on the fuel of our hope as consumers, that where we can think we can turn $5 into 500. But it really is just, it fills their pockets. And we hope that the roulette table, that the ball will land on black or red. And we hope the player wins when we're playing Baccarat or whatever. And we honestly hope that some dude, LeBron James, scores over 24.5 points so we can win some money. This is truly the dark side to having hope. It's not all negative. It's such a crazy feeling. So I want to go over some ways where I and you, we can learn how we can lean into hope and not just get caught in having all this hope copium bullshit. And the first method, or theory, or whatever you want to call it, is to have a positive relationship with hope. And it's simply not to let it go overboard. And there's this old saying, I think in the Bible or something, where like gluttony is the worst sin. And I think this can apply to emotions even. Like if you overindulge in a lot of stuff in life, there's nearly every time you're not going to feel good. And if you overindulge in hope, you're only setting yourself up for bigger and bigger letdown when that time comes. So having some way to monitor and realistically set expectations is more important than you think. And a couple of ways that I try to do this is really, you gotta take a step back and realize that you and we are so blessed that no matter what happens, our worst day is some people's dreams. And when you really and truly understand that, it is a freeing experience, in so much of this weight and pressure to perform goes off your shoulder and you can finally live. And it's helped me ground myself in honestly this chaotic life that we live. And it gives me confidence. And it should give you confidence too, because that you don't need to get caught up with this hopium and coping bullshit like a chud, like I used to do. But another technique I think is valuable to use and remember in these hard, trying times is to stay semi-realistic. Now, I say semi-realistic because this is kind of a controversial topic, where in a way it's like, well, dude, I need to be realistic. But on the other hand, I also want to achieve my dreams that seem outlandish now, but I think they can be realistic very soon. I think of like people who were just becoming astronauts in like the 60s. Like these guys, when they were kids, they didn't think they could fucking go to the moon, but eventually, that shit happened. What was once impossible, they believed and they thought it was realistic. So it's just this hard balance. But what I mean is that when we need to be realistic, like it's not shitting on anybody's dreams and saying you can't do it. More so, I'm saying that when you are full of hope, it just make sure that it is something that is plausible And like if you were hoping if you were hoping to get turned into a pig, like I would say, bro, get ready to be disappointed. Cersei's not going to come save you, but that's not going to happen. But if you were hoping to have a shorty to talk to as well, I would also say that's not going to happen. I'm just playing, but that last bit was a joke. If you set unrealistic expectations for yourself, the only feeling that will happen will be disappointment. And I think that's why if you and I have a large unrealistic goal, that we should set smaller, more achievable goals as stepping stones to eventually reach that bigger and final goal. And what was once impossible is now within our reach. And there's this technique that I think we used to do in school or something, but it's called SMART goals. And really, it's just a better way to put your goals down into obtainable amounts. And the concept is pretty cool, honestly. And if you want something, you can make goals to start reaching what you wrote down. And that way, hope is at an all-time high. You wouldn't be left out to dry for sadness. Like if you wanted to make $1 million, I wouldn't say like that's totally unrealistic, but you need to have some steps in there. So maybe step one could be like get a degree, get a job. Second step, start gaining passive income through dividends or something. Third step, I don't know, get a promotion at work. I don't know. This isn't a concrete answer, but it's just those smaller steps. You can get those checkpoints mentally, and you can say, hey man, I'm actually doing pretty good. Like I'm making progress. What was once impossible, I'm now like 40% of the way there. And when you think of that, when you have that crutch to lean on, it's like, dude, I can truly do anything. This is sick. Hey, but those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And thank you to everybody for watching. I appreciate it so much. But with that being said, peace.